again, Extreme Business Mindset Series with, of course, Mr. Lee Tannyware from, well, not actually originally from Ireland. You went into Ireland, then you experienced all the craziness of what an English person gets when they go to Ireland. And
Well,
here we are.
years ago now, everything's normal. But in those days, it weren't too good coming over here in the 70s.
Lee, what was the regular bad name you would have been called as an English person in Ireland all those years ago?
Just any name, really. Sometimes you wouldn't.
Was it really abusive to be an English person in Ireland all those years ago?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was on the bridges and the roads, and rightly so, I think. So you can hear it. Well, my breeding would be Irish, but it would have on the bridges and on the road in big letters, Brits out, peace in.
Wow.
But bear in mind, and that sounds nowadays looking at it, that Irish were like bullies. They weren't. I think if you knew the history, and there's the history that's there, and there's the history that was, like they talk about the potato famine, like it was a famine. I mean, like the only thing Irish people left was potatoes.
Yeah. Wow.
It wasn't, yeah.
Lee, we've come in and I dived back in, I dived in on that and I put on a bit of a spot, but we are going to be talking about, as we move forward, we've got a lot of plans with, some amazing footage coming out. People don't really know Lee Tannyware that well. They know Lee Tannyware for his skill, but there's a whole background, a whole history there. But, we are going to touch on something pretty sensitive today. And I'm really excited by this opportunity, Lee. And for those who are just joining us, Extreme Business Set Mind Series. This is myself and Lee. Every week we get together and we brainstorm everything that doesn't generally get talked about in business for sure. And where we are this week, and this is a big one because I remember the times before this. Has social media really made starting a business too easy? And I want to talk about this. I see so many unseasoned business individuals that basically crash in. Like, business is a class A drug because it pulls on every part of you, emotionally, physically, mentally, biologically. It pulls on every part of you when you run a business. That's what it is. And I've seen, listen, I'm a twice suicide survivor because I run a business. I'm not ashamed to say that. And I've written that in my chapter, the Hard Knocks books, it's in there, that I tried taking my life twice because I was addicted to the envy of success that you see in business. I was addicted to the envy of money that you perceive is in business. That drove me to trying that 2 times over. Now social media, it's so in your face and so looks so easy to set up a business because you no longer have to pay thousands of pounds of advertising fee. You can just get on there, as long as you're courageous in front of a camera and courageous with sharing, you can create a business. But does that make us, Lee, human ready to run a business?
No, I don't think it does. I think actually, in some ways, and in a lot of ways, it's so much easier to be in business today than it was, say, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, whatever, 30.
Yeah, even 20 or 10.
Oh, yeah, 10 even, yeah. I mean, if you look at it, I suppose the comparison to its herd, if you look at it, say, like, you can go on Netflix now and you can watch on demand.
Yeah.
Where in my day, your day, you'd have to sit and wait for the series. The series wasn't watch on demand. Yeah, the series demanded you watch it if you wanted to watch it. You watched it at the time it was on. You couldn't record, couldn't pause, couldn't do nothing. Yeah. And in a sense, I mean, so now it's just much easier to watch TV. Yeah, to how it was. I mean, does anybody know what vertical hold is anymore? I mean, I remember my dad banging the telly just to make sure the picture would come up. I remember my dad buying a coloured TV in 1969, and now I know it's 1969 because he bought the coloured TV. He had a TV in his house. Not everybody had a TV, see. Yeah. But he bought colour TV, one of these big ones in a box with the cabinet when it opened out, big speaker at the bottom. Oh, yeah, top of the range TV. Can't remember what it was. I think it was Rediffusion. I can't remember. To watch the moon landing.
Wow.
And my nan and granddad, all sort of the family members and neighbours were in our living room watching it. And it was in black and white.
Oh.
Yeah, so he bought a colour TV. Colour TV was really like top of the range. He bought colour TV, the moon landing was in black and white. So, and my mum went, would it be in colour soon, Bob? I mean, that's how, so back to the business thing, it's how things have changed. And like things that like vertical hold. I think too many people are after likes and comments and shares, and a small proportion of people are going to like, share, and comment. Mm. If they're sharing or posting your stuff and your posts, a lot of people talk about what they do. So I sell pens. So it's messaging. It's being able to understand why you're doing social media. You're either doing it to build a brand, and a lot of people are focused on this brand awareness. Like, you've got to have a big brand. You've got a big brand. They might only need 6 customers, 6 clients. Depends like how much business can they cope with.
Yeah.
So if you took it back to the bricks and mortar world, I mean, you'd have to have rent, rates, electric, staff, or you are the staff, so you were stuck in the business 9 to 5. A focused effort. Now, you might have been sitting there waiting for clients or customers to walk in off the street, whether that would be like an office or whether that be a carpet shop. Same thing, you're waiting. So where you got your shop would determine how much foot traffic you got. If it was on a back street or whether it was on a main street. So like the bigger or the more foot traffic, say Oxford Street, as opposed to one of the shops in the lanes in Brighton, big difference. Yeah. Or Oxford Street, or the Strand or somewhere like that, or next door to Harrods. I mean, now, if you were next door to Harrods, and let's say next door to Harrods, 2 doors up, was a Marnie, you've got a Marnie and Harrods in this little unit in the middle, and you go, I know, that'd be a good shop, good place for a gadget shop. Yeah, I wouldn't go for a gadget shop there, mate. That little shop in the middle, right? You got Harrods one side and Marnie the other. What clientele are you getting either side of you? Now, if you've got McDonald's one side and Argos the other, what type of clients you get? So location is everything. Yeah. So when the people are liking and sharing on your posts, you've got to see that's either August or that's a Marnie.
Wow. So we've just shifted really the perception of what location is to effectively what we say in the quality of comments, the quality of likes. Because here's the thing is that, so we could say, there are frantically successful 16-year-olds now that would have taken 40 years to get the same success 20 years ago.
You can be an overnight success now.
Is that healthy? Are these human beings, young human beings, ready for that level of success? Let's also remember that, there was a lot of skills that were needed to learn in, we could say, the old type of business that now is innately not there in many business people because they are growing a business purely through the screen.
Yeah. Skills or emotional awareness?
Let's say emotional awareness.
Yeah, because I think skills is more, in my world, how to cut a piece of wood, how to put a post up, whatever, that they're external. Mm-hmm. Internally, coming back to where we started sort of thing, the emotional awareness. So if you get a bad comment or if, or if you don't get, you put a post up. I mean, imagine the pressure that's on somebody that sort of had a viral post, 1 million, 2 million views, and puts the next post up and gets 6.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so the challenge is with the influencer route is then how much they sell if they haven't got the awareness, or they haven't, I suppose, got the consistency of that awareness, because that's what character is. Reputation is what people say about you when you're behind your back. A lot of people think reputation is the good things they say about you behind your back. No, it ain't. Reputation is a mixture of both. No matter who you are, the King of England, or president, they're going to say good and bad things about you. You're never going to please everybody. It's a bit like trying to get everybody to eat chocolate ice cream. Most people like it, and then you'll get somebody go, I can't have it. Why? Don't you like chocolate? I love chocolate ice cream, but I've got, is it gluten-free? So now emotional awareness and emotional readiness, because emotional readiness is, are you aware and are you ready for the good and bad times in business?
Wow, there it is, emotional readiness.
Yeah. And then it's the timeline. Some people have too many expectations. Like they think, well, because I'm going to do a post, I've got, 100,000 followers. Followers, like, to the marketplace can seem like a benchmark, and they are in some ways. However, you can earn as much from like 50 followers if they're your followers.
Okay.
Now, if you're in a market, because the further you get into fringes of the market. And what I mean by fringes of the market, some people like you for the people you attract, but they don't like you.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, they like you for the audience you bring. They like you for the success that you can actually put in one place, but they don't like you. Yeah, and they're the ones that normally snipe. They're the ones that dig, or they're the ones that. There's one little bit here. There's one last bit here. Is that some people, when you're at that awareness level of being able to talk to, whether it's 50, 1,000, it's not the confidence to talk. That's one bit. There's still the skills there. Is part of when you communicate, there's a different level, totally different level of communication from one to one and from one to many, or one to a group. And that level of communication is their emotional awareness, because when people won't be held, because you got triads and up. So one to one, you and I having a chat, we can say and talk about anybody. Put a third person into that mix and the conversation changes, because now it's witnessed. As soon as it's witnessed, it can go on the record, because that's what a witness is. It's on the record, whether it's written, video, audio, or it's just on the record in someone's head. As soon as you go to that level of a third person in, that's when their emotional awareness starts to go up. Now, if it's three buddies and they all know each other and they all know each other for the same thing, then you're back to two. By throwing somebody else in on the sidelines that can hear your conversation. So when you're an influencer or you're putting posts up, a lot of people won't look at posts like this. Would you take that post and stand on a stage and deliver it? Not necessarily verbatim, but would you deliver roughly the same content?
Wow.
Yeah. When you send an email.
Because that was a massive statement that makes so much sense. When you're reading somebody else's post and you like it, would you grab that post, print it off?
Oh, no. The person who's writing the post.
Yeah,
or email to a group, like autoresponder. Would you take that email and go on stage and deliver it?
Wow.
Because we're in this, one person at a time is reading it. Now it's an autoresponder. We might be sending that email to 20,000 people. But we don't think the 20,000 people are reading it. We think it's going out to first name fix Paul.
Yeah.
When we put a social media post up, we know that post is being read one at a time, by one person at a time. When it's liked or shared, it's being shared to somebody like attracts like. So if you've got 1,000 followers or 20,000 followers or more, like 100,000 followers, are you writing with the awareness level that you're talking to 100,000 people? And if so, does your sentence structures change then? Do you put more thought into it then? Are you spontaneous? Now, spontaneity in the influencers world, that putting the camera, like the makeup on when they're doing the camera, or putting their earrings in. All of that's done it's actually staged. Mm-hmm. It's done to make them feel they're in that Big Brother world, to make them have a human connection. They're not having a human connection because they already know. Like me, I sit here and I drink my coffee, but I'm sitting here and drink my coffee. Mm. But it also implies psychologically you're in my space. But I'm actually sitting here and drinking my coffee. I've got the awareness of what it means.
Yeah.
So when some of us, when we start out, we're so rigid, can't drink coffee in front of them. Yeah. So it's today we're here to do like a bit like a newscaster. Mm-hmm. We're being polite, we're being respectful, we're saying all the right things. So are we emotional awareness ready? Are we ready for success? Are we ready to play in the influencer section? Mm-hmm. If we are, then you've got to stop being so hard on yourself, because you ain't going to get perfect. There's no way you can talk to 10 people and hit it out of the park unless they're raving fans. Yeah? Raving fans are a bit like disciples. Yeah, you could do anything. I mean, I'm not being funny. Ozzy Osbourne bit a bat's head off on stage, and they screamed and wanted more. So if you got raving fans, you can get away with so much. To get those raving fans, you can't be like a stuffed shirt newscaster. You've got to be so authentic, so real, so genuine, so sincere, but so consistent. To get there, that's where it comes to awareness ready. You have to know you.
Wow. Do you think, Lee, that when we think about, the size of social media now and how the speed at which you can grow a business from social media compared, I mean, listen, we do a whole book launch with, is it 25 authors?
29, yeah, all of us.
29 authors, a book launch through LinkedIn, through strategized, posts every day. And that has cost nothing other than going on to LinkedIn. You did that 20 years ago. You would be billboarding this book physically, all out throughout the country. But do you think that because it's become so easy to build a flash business through social media, that business has lost its character?
No, I think actually it's got just a different layer to it. I mean, if you went back to, the pen, as opposed to the tablet, not the modern tablet, the scribe tablet. It just, I think it's a different nuance. But you've got the ones that are sort of caught in that limbo of two worlds, yeah? Yeah, they're caught in, so there's the bricks and mortar way of doing things, and there's the click and order way of doing things. But all communication, regardless of what marketplace you're in, the number one thing is authenticity, because that's a brand. You can design a brand, which is what a lot of people do, but if your persona and your character is not in line with that brand, you ain't got a brand. You've got to design a brand. What I mean by design a brand, not a Harry Kors or an Armani, you've given away your authenticity, which means you'll never have fans.
Oh, I see that.
And you can see it with certain celebrities. They get caught on the off-mic bit. Yeah, you caught me off-mic, you'd hear exactly the same thing on mic as you would off-mic. You might hear the odd F word maybe now and again, but you wouldn't see my character change. I'm the same person. And I've had people say it to me, I don't know how you do it. I've seen you one-on-one, seen you in a group, seen you on a stage, and you're the same person. How do you do that? Well, why wouldn't I be? So the point is, a brand is something that you get an emotional connection with, something that's recognized. That's the external part. But it should stand for something. Okay. It has to have honor and integrity. And whether that means 90% of the people don't like it and the 10% do, the 10% that do, they're the ones that will follow you. Because following and collaborating are two different things. When, like a bit like us with the book launch, we got collaborators. Yeah. So we're utilising each other's social footprint and putting a little bit of a strategy on it, a bit of communication framework. We're upskilling some, so they're learning as they go. Some are learning to play nice because some don't play nice with others. They're very much in it alone. It's my train. Yeah. He looked at my train. What do I mean? And that's literally so. And I think how we can be successful, more successful, is to be more honest. Oh, stop trying to find the right words to make people like you. Mm-hmm. So if you took that into the real world, every time you go to your mate's house, yeah, Johnny doesn't like red, he likes blue. I put a blue jumper on. I mean, because what happens is, so coming back to where we core of it, if we keep changing our colours, mm-hmm. then who are we? Because at the end of the day, if we've done all the fake and BS on social media to get followers, shares, whatever, advertising, sales, whatever, at the end of the day, do you know who you are?
Wow.
Does your friends know you if they see your post? Can't believe you said that the other day. Nobody would say that to me. Well, that threw me a little bit the other day, but most people would say to me, Lee, I can't believe you said that. Because that social construct, see, an influencer and a leader cannot say or do what the average expect, because if they're average, they're never going to be successful.
Wow.
So that's the emotional awareness bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like when we think about, people coming into social media and wanting to grow a business, whether it's a new or an established business, what we are seeing here, Lee, is the most important thing is being truthful and not, because I listen, in my early part of my business, I was a fake it till you make it person, and that's the worst way to go, because effectively I built a following on
I would say when you say it that, I don't think you were knowing who you are. Mm-hmm. I don't think you've had a complete. I think you were trying to develop skills and trying to do it this way because you believe that was the right way to do it.
Yes.
But that can make you feel in hindsight, or look back in hindsight, that you were a fake it till you make it. Mm-hmm. If I do it this way, that's all right. If I do it that way, and all we're trying to do is develop skills or awareness.
Yeah.
So the person I know, you're very honourable.
Oh, bless you.
And you're very open. So I wouldn't imagine, and you come across like the person that wears the heart on the sleeve. Mm-hmm. So, and I think that's where, and the reason I'm not correcting you, you would know better than me, it's your life, yeah? But the reason I'm saying it's more for the audience awareness, one, not to discredit you, and I'm not trying to protect you. If that's what you did, that's what you did. That's life. But I think people need the awareness that, in a sense, that when we're developing skills are on the outside. Where to put your hashtags? Mm-hmm. Do you put a headline? Do you put a sub-headline? How do you break it up? Do you put emojis in the post? What platform do you use? And is it the same format on Instagram as it is on Facebook, as it is on LinkedIn, as it is on Twitter? Understanding the nuances between each one. Do you do trend marketing, piggyback marketing? Mm-hmm. So they're all sort of, what's a trend, Lee? How do you know the trends? Yeah. Do you forecast trend market? What do you mean by that? Are you in the micro moments? Do you manage micro moments? Do you understand that in certain parts of the day, it's not what time do you post, but certain types of the day, if you're in an emotional buy or invest or spend, how do you connect to the emotional algorithm of the human within the day?
Yeah.
When are they most likely to come on is one part. So when are they most on? When should I post? No, why are they on? What emotional pressure cooker at the app that they're now into escapism?
Wow.
And what symptom or what emotion are they feeling? What experience, an emotional experience are they in? What stress have they had? Have one of those mornings? Boss been in your ear, don't matter what you do, you just can't get it right. Yeah, I've had a morning like that myself. If we can be authentic like that, yeah, they're totally different. I'm my own boss, but I'm over my shoulder looking, have you done this, Lee? Have you done that? Have you seen the things I've got to do today? Yeah. And I mean, so it don't matter if you're an employee or an employer or an entrepreneur. They all begin with the same letter. But that emotional investment in your time, what I'd like you to do is join me for a LinkedIn Live on 2:00 at XYZ. It's going into the experience.
Yeah.
But if you're going into it to manipulate,
wow.
And manipulate, this word starts with the same letter, motivate. A lot of people don't realise to motivate is to manipulate.
Wow.
To inspire is a form of toxicity. And this is the difference between an authentic message and a structured message. An authentic message, whether they like it, whether they don't, is, are they getting the essence of you? Because that's where fans are. Yeah. Are they getting it? Will you say anything just to get another follower? Will you say anything just to get, I don't know, a viral video? Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne was known for biting a bat's head off. Yeah. Only he'd done good music and different things like that, if you like that type of thing. But the one thing he was known for was biting a bat's head off. So some people are extreme. Yeah. You got the father that got up, I forget where it was, on the Houses of Parliament, I think, in the Spider-Man's outfit.
I remember.
Yeah. You got the farmers and the lorry drivers that closed the motorways. That's extreme. You got Dagenham Ford when the women went out on strike because they couldn't get their wages put up years ago. That's in the 70s. So when something happens, and you've got to hear this, see, when something happens by one person, but they get the same impact of millions of people doing it. So when the lorries or the tractors go on the motorway and they just stop the motorway, and there's hundreds of them, whether it's at Dieppe or whether it's on this side, to say against fuel prices, that's multiple people doing something at the same time. A bit like a minute's silence.
Yeah.
So you get if it goes on the news, which nowadays it don't always, but let's say it gets that social media wave, that's one side. What wave's happening offline? Because that's the bit you've got to be aware of. You've got the social media and you've got the bricks and mortar click and order.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing the social media, but offline, nobody knows it's going on. Imagine you've got two worlds. The conversations you have offline, so coming back to, say, self-management or self-preservation, if you're authentic, then you're talking to people. You're not hiding in your own space and go, what did you do today? Yeah, I put this post up. Put it up just for drama and, I called XYZ a name, whether it was Trump or Oprah or Biden, I just jumped or something. I mean, if you want to make money, you've got the US elections coming up, go to a site like Teespring, get some memes for Biden, get some memes for Trump or whoever's going to be the Republican, and sell two ads.
Yeah.
Because that's business. Business means you've got no license to either one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could put the Biden jumper, vote Trump,
Yeah.
All Biden followers are sheep. And you can have something like that, and that's controversial, and you're going to have people jumping on it. And Trump's the best marketer in the world, whether you like him, whether you don't. And a lot of people go, can't believe he said that, can't believe he said this. What does he do? He disrupts every conversation.
Yeah.
He breaks the social norm. You can't predict him. He's unpredictable.
Wow.
Where a lot of people think, well, I thought he was good at branding. No, he's excellent at branding. The power that brings when he goes into politics, whether you like him or don't, is whoever it is, Europe, China, whatever, they don't want, I ain't about this bloke to push the button any time. He's got. So it doesn't matter in politics or religion, Church of England, Catholic, they've all got a brand and they've all got their own rules.
Yeah.
You disrupting that, as soon as you go in the middle of between two, because, communism, capitalism, and socialism, they're your three mindsets. Marketing ain't that hard, is you've got three mindsets. Yeah, so if you've got somebody that's, say, for example, this way, there's a murder. There's three suspects. One's a vegan, one's a vegetarian, and one's a meat eater. Who do you think most likely committed the crime?
The meat eater.
Well, that's it. It's not necessarily true, but that's subconscious bias.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people in social media, as in realise what the social norm's thinking.
Yeah.
And what happens is offline, if you're authentic, it don't matter. Like if you're being honest, yeah, and you're not just doing a marketing like spill, you're going to have people for, against, and somewhere in between. That's just life.
Yeah.
And when you've got that, you've got a conversation offline. You've got a conversation off the post if you're a disruptive marketer. But when it comes back to mental well-being and not having the consequences of success, you've got to know what space you're in. It's the Goldilocks syndrome. Yeah. If you're in between hot and cold, yeah, and that's you're just right, then stick within your emotional intelligence level.
Let me jump in there because we are coming to an end, my friend.
The time goes so quick. I just realised the time. I've got to go to the dentist.
This has been an amazing insight into how social media, really weakened how we start a business. It's been fantastic, and I'm going to say, Lee, thank you ever so much for an amazing show. You shoot off, my friend. I will speak to you soon, and we say bye for now and happy days, and boom.
Boom.